Welcome everyone to the Port Richmond, one of New York City's 5 sludge boats. My name is Alicia West and I'm DEP's Director of Public Design Outreach. Today I'm joined by Pam Elardo, our Deputy Commissioner of Wastewater Treatment. Ahoy, Pam.
Hey, thank you. Welcome aboard to this beautiful sludge boat.
Thank you. So today we have a really cool opportunity to take a look around this vessel and learn how these sludge boats are sort of a critical piece in protecting the environment and how they service our efforts to create renewable resources from all of New Yorkers' wastewater. So these boats are affectionately called sludge boats for what they carry. Pam, can you tell us a little bit about sludge?
I will tell you about sludge. So it's amazing what DEP does for the city in terms of wastewater collection, treatment, resource recovery. We have 14 wastewater resource recovery facilities all around the city. We take the city's dirtiest water, we're talking water from toilets and showers, and even runoff from the streets. And we go through a series of processes to create clean water and also valuable products like biosolids and biogas, which are green products, green energy that we can use beneficially. So in the process, there's a solid separation step where we take solids out of the system. They're very biologically active, and we thicken it and we put them in digesters. Those work just like your stomach. And from there, there's a final step where we have to take that digested solids and create the biosolids product, which is a very valuable fertilizer. And that final step, we have to transport sludge from the facilities that do not do the final dewatering step to facilities that do the final dewatering step. Therefore, sludge boat.
That's how the sludge boat figures in. So tell us a little bit more about the solids processing and the dewatering process.
I mentioned we have 14 wastewater resource recovery facilities, and only 6 of them do that final solids processing step, and that step is called dewatering. So a plant like this digests but doesn't dewater. So we have to take the digested solids out of here, put it in a boat, and carry it to another one of our plants that does the final dewatering step. And that is a very cool process because it takes the water out of the cake, the digested solids, and makes that final fertilizer type product. It's basically a centrifugal force that spins the water out at a very high rate, and then what we get at the end is that fertilizer solid, biosolids that we can use beneficially.
So it's like a washing machine spinning really fast to wring all the water out of your clothes.
Exactly as a spin cycle of a washing machine.
Awesome. So we're here at our Newtown Creek Wastewater Resource Recovery Facility, and we do not have dewatering at this facility. So we're on Whale Creek right now. We're on our sludge dock, and our workers are loading up the sludge onto this boat, and then this boat will go out onto the Newtown Creek and out into the East River and take all of this sludge to our Wards Island plant for the dewatering there, right?
Exactly.
Awesome. So the final product is what you called biosolids, right?
That's correct.
Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Sure. Biosolids,
that's the sludge.
So biosolids is a very valuable resource. It actually takes carbon and returns it to the soil if you use it beneficially. We in New York City produce 1,400 tons a day of biosolids. So we actually drive the market for that end use. It could be composted, it makes fertilizer, it could be used for energy production. So we're very active in finding the best beneficial use for our biosolids. Right now we got about 40% of it going directly to beneficial use, where we're really achieving the benefit of the carbon sequestration, and our goal is to get to 100% beneficial use by 2030.
Wow. Excellent. So, do you want to take a walk around the boat?
Let's take a tour. So this is the pipe that's actually loading the sludge boat. We have our digesters in Newtown Creek, just a little bit over there. That digested solids are going into this pipe and loading the hull of this boat to be carried over to Wards Island for dewatering.
So we've made it to the bridge of the sludge boat. We can take our hard hats out now. I've got some hard hat head. It's always good. So what do we see behind us, Pam?
Well, in the background you see the digesters I was talking about. And that's the anaerobic system for our solids that digests them and is the last step at this plant before the solids go to dewatering at Ward's Island.
What did I touch?
Mayday!
Ah! You said I could steer. You didn't tell me that would happen.
Amateur at the wheel.
Okay.
I hope that was on film.
You can move a couple of degrees.
But don't sink the boat, is what you're saying.
That's the goal.
Okay, don't crash it into the dock. Got it. All right.
Don't power it up right now.
What button turns it on? So we're joined now by Jim Aird, who's a senior port engineer with DEP, and he has been with DEP for 31 years. He's a long hauler. Thank you so much for joining us today on the boat.
My pleasure.
I am going to ask you to tell us a little bit about what we're standing in front of, which has lots of buttons and knobs that I'm now afraid to touch. Can you walk us through kind of what all of this is and how it controls the boat?
So right now we're in the pilot house. This is how we control the Port Richmond. The captain has controls for the engines. He controls the pitch and the speed. We have a bow and stern thruster because coming into Whale Creek is a very tricky maneuver. So he can use the main engines and assist with the thrusters. And then he has his radar screens so he can see the traffic, the depth of the water, the actual entrance to the creek and the plant of Whale Creek.
Wow, so we're here.
Yep.
Cool. Very
and
cool.
then we have phones to communicate with the engineers down below. On this vessel, there's a 6-man crew. There's a captain, a mate, 2 engineers, and then 2 mariners. So the whole vessel's run with 6 guys.
This whole boat only takes 6 people to run. That's kind of amazing. It's an enormous boat or ship or vessel. So New Yorkers can see these sludge boats moving around through the harbor, through the East River and Hudson and Jamaica Bay, right, every day.
Yep.
They just know what to look for, right?
Some people call them the honey boats.
Honey boats?
Honey boats.
Why?
Yep. The smell and the product.
How do we keep the ship? Because sludge can be a little odorous.
Oh, yes.
How do we keep the ship from smelling? Because it does not smell in here.
We have odor control units on board. We have 3 on this vessel. Each one serves 2 different tanks. And as we load, we're sucking the air through it, through a charcoal. And the charcoal will take the smell out of the methane, captures the hydrogen sulfide. And then it just expels it at a higher level. So most of the guys are on deck and it's above us. But just the charcoal does a great job.
Yeah, it just really scrubs the smell right out of it, right? Let's see, what else can we talk about? What is the crane for?
The crane is how we swing the hose out when we get to the plant. That's how we take the cargo through the cargo hose.
Right, so Jim, this is the hose where the sludge is coming in, and as it's loaded from the dock into the boat, where is it? Where's the sludge?
We're standing on it.
We're on top of it.
Poop or sludge.
Awesome.
So when the mariners do load the vessel, we start up at 1s, and then we move back into 2s. This is actually a cargo hatch. Underneath this hatch, you can see 1 million gallons of sludge. And this is where one of our cargo pumps is, below it as well.
So you fill those tanks, the 1s, the 2s, you fill those sequentially as you need it?
Yes, because the vessel will either hog or sag, so we have to load it according to the safety of the vessel. So we'll go 1s, 2s, and then 3s. We typically load halfway, and then we'll work our way forward with the rest of the cargo.
So you don't like flip the boat?
Flip it or list it or...
That would be bad. All right, so you can even see that as the hose is coming down here, we're a lot lower now than when the boat first started filling up. So we're getting heavier with all of that sludge. So remind me, how much sludge?
We have about 1 million gallons on board. We just loaded within the last 2 hours.
Wow, that's incredible. In 2 hours.
Yep.
That's incredible. So sludge boats have been around for over 80 years, but when they were first commissioned, they served a very different purpose, right? They would load up the sludge and they would take it out and dump it out at sea. And in the 1930s, when they started doing this, this was intended to improve the water quality in the harbor, and it worked, but we were really just kind of moving that problem a little bit further out to sea, literally, out of sight and out of mind. And so in the 1990s, when legislation was passed to ban ocean dumping, these boats took on their current role, and now they really serve just this critical link in the process of resource recovery. And New York City's harbor has never been cleaner, right? Not since the Civil War.
Exactly.
Right.
These plants, this process is responsible for the quality of water all around New York City. And in fact, we have marine life coming back, we have whales, we have dolphins, all because of the great work that the city does with our great wastewater resource recovery plants.
We love our boats.
We love our boats. Sludge boat, love boat. A final interesting fact about our boats is that they can have an afterlife. For example, our Newtown Creek sludge boat was recently retired. We transported it to Florida because there was a group of people who sunk the boat, and it became substrate for marine life, marine growth, and also really interesting a place for people to go diving. So it's like a pretend sunken ship, but it has an ecological life after the fact.
So it's like an artificial reef.
Exactly.
Yeah, so a cool place for marine life to live and also for intrepid divers to visit.
Yes. It's amazing what we do, and the fact that we have staff 24/7 operating these boats around the city, obviously in all types of weather. It's not like we could shut our processes down. I love to go on a tour with them when the weather's nice, and when it's freezing and snowing and raining, I think about them a lot because it is a tough job to keep the system going the way they do.
Yeah, absolutely. They're essential workers.
Right on.
All right, well, Pam, thank you so much for taking the time to tour this awesome sludge boat with us today. It was a lot of fun. Always nice to see you. Thank you all at home for watching. We welcome you back anytime.